So we would see what are the prepositions. A preposition is used to show a relationship between a noun, a pronoun in a sentence or another word in the sentence. इसकी positioning क्या होती है जी? That is always followed by a noun or a pronoun in a sentence and it can never be followed by a verb. इससे आपको इसकी placement determine करने में भी help मिल जाएगी कि एक sentence में कभी भी word को follow नहीं करती, rather ये noun और pronoun को follow करती हैं. A preposition connects a noun, a pronoun and phrase to other parts of the sentence. All right. So next these are the examples of the prepositions. Preposition हमें relationship भी बता रही होती है noun और pronoun का दूसरे words के साथ, और साथ साथ ही हमें placement भी बता रही होती है चीज़ों की, objects की और nouns की, subjects की. So पहले example में तुम देखो, the box is on the desk. So it shows the placement of the box on the desk. और अगर ये कहते हैं कि the box is over the desk, so that is also showing us the placement. अब on में you will see that the box, there is no physical distance between the box and the desk. Whereas if you would say that the box is over the desk, there is also no physical distance between the box and the desk. But if you would say the box is above the desk, it means that there is a distance between the box and the desk. Similarly, if you would say that he is going through the forest, so through हमें क्या बता रहा होता है? हमें positioning बता रहा होता है subject की, that he is going through the forest. He is going to the forest. forest की तरफ जा रहा है and he is going through the forest. वो forest के अंदर है and he is going through the forest. And if you would say that he jumped into the river, so this preposition into, that refers to the motion, to the movement. Whereas if you would say he is in the river, तो in refer करता है to the static form, to the static position. He is passing through the forest, he is in the forest. तो through भी यहाँ पे motion हमें suggest कर रहा है that he is passing through something. Whereas he is in the forest, that refers to the positioning of the subject, that positioning is static. So the prepositions are very interesting, and the prepositions show us about the relationship of the subject with the other words which are there in the sentence, and that also tells us about the relationship as well as the placement, and these therefore the prepositions are very much important. Next we will see, by the tree, with our friends, about the book, until tomorrow. You would have a look at every preposition, that just we have a look at the preposition and we would see the relationship of the subject. Like he is sitting by the tree, तो हमें relationship पता चल जाता है subject का object के साथ. अगर हम कहते हैं he is sitting on the tree, तो हमें relationship पता चल जाता है he is sitting above the tree. That also refers to the relationship of the subject with the object. He is moving towards the tree and he is on the tree, and many more. You would have a look at the other prepositions too. These prepositions are very much important because they tell us about the placement as well as the relationship of the subject with the object and with the other words. Okay, here in this example from is a preposition. And since there are the different forms of prepositions, I'm not going into much details, and there are simple examples of the simple prepositions because there are the compound prepositions and many other too. But I just want you to have a look at the simple prepositions and then try to see that how the use of a preposition give us a complete description of what is happening. And this is very interesting. I walked down the street. She was hiding under the table. The cat jumped off the counter. He drove over the bridge, and many more. Just have a look at this. And the next part of speech is conjunction. What is the function of a conjunction? A conjunction joins words, phrases, or clauses. For example, and, but, or, while, because. Conjunction joins words, phrases, or clauses, and that indicates a relationship between the elements that are joined to each other. that help us to that help us to form complex sentences. And because if there are no conjunctions, we have to write shorter sentences, and all the time we have to end a sentence, then start a sentence, then end a sentence. So that help us to avoid the awkward multiple short sentences, formation of awkward multiple short sentences. Rather, that help us to form complex sentences in a quite elegant way. For example, I like cooking. If there is no, suppose there is no conjunction, you would write I like cooking, then you would write I like eating, then you would write another sentence, I don't like washing dishes. And so you have to form three sentences in order to explain your thought. But since the conjunctions are there, therefore fortunately conjunctions are there, you would be forming, you would be explaining, you would be saying three ideas in a single sentence with the help of the conjunctions. So I like cooking and eating, first conjunction, but I don't like washing dishes afterward, the second conjunction. Sophie is clearly exhausted, yet she insists on working till dawn. So the other example of the conjunctions. Now we would see that there are two kinds of conjunctions: coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. Now what does the, you would be familiar with this term because I had already explained that in while doing clauses, independent and dependent clauses, and you would be familiar. So coordinating conjunctions connect grammatically equal elements. Grammatically equal elements का मतलब क्या है कि ये दो independent clauses को join करते हैं आपस में, जैसे दो या दो से ज्यादा इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉजेस को ज्वाइन करता है। और कोऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शंस कौन से हैं, जिसके लिए हमने वो निमोनिक स्टडी किया था फैन बॉयज का। सो वही है, ये 7 हैं, एंड, बट, और, नॉट, और, सो एंड येट. So these are used to join the independent clauses to each other. For example, the young girl brought me a very long letter from the teacher, and then she quickly disappeared, and this, and this, to have a look. These are all the examples of coordinating conjunctions. Next, the subordinating conjunctions. The subordinating conjunctions connect clauses that are not equal. Means the subordinating conjunctions join independent and dependent clauses. What are these subordinating conjunctions? Although, while, since, as, though, while, whereas. Sometimes an adverb such as until, after, or before can function as a conjunction too. For example, I can stay out until the clock strikes 12. So I can stay out, independent clause, until the clock strikes 12, a dependent clause. The next example, I drank a glass of water because I was thirsty. I drank a glass of water, independent clause, because ज्वाइन कर रहा है, सबऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शन है, बिकॉज आई वाज थर्स्टी डिपेंडेंट क्लॉज है. इसको आप दूसरी तरह से फॉर्म कर सकते हो, क्योंकि जरूरी नहीं है कि आपका कोई एक क्लॉज पहले इंडिपेंडेंट आएगा फिर डिपेंडेंट आएगा, कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है. इट कुड बी वाइस वर्सा टू. यू मे राइट द डिपेंडेंट क्लॉज फर्स्ट एंड देन द इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज. सो यू मे राइट इन एनी फॉर्म. For example, before he leaves, make sure his work is complete before he leaves. This is the dependent clause, पहले आ गया है. Make sure his work is complete, ये है जी independent clause. The next and the last part of speech is interjection. What does interjection do? An interjection is a word which is used to express emotions, feelings. जब भी राइटर इंटरजेक्शंस इंसर्ट करते हैं किसी भी सेंटेंस में, तो राइटर का पर्पस क्या होता है? इमोशंस और फीलिंग्स को डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट करना. Since that is, they are used in the written form, and in writing too, the authors sometimes they need to describe and explain the emotions of the characters. Therefore, they have to insert these interjections there in order to describe the emotions or feelings of the characters. And these words or phrases can stand alone. What? The interjections can stand alone, or they could be placed before a sentence. Next, many times many interjections are followed by an exclamation point. However, it's not necessary that they always end in an exclamation mark. That depends upon the intensity of the emotions that the writer wants to express. Yes, जरूरी नहीं है कि all the time सारे interjections जो हैं तुम ये ज़हन में रख लो कि जी every time the interjection would end with an exclamation mark. No, sometimes they don't end in an exclamation mark, like in this example. बिकॉज जब बहुत लाउड होगा, कोई ऑथर जो राइटर कोई लिख रहा है, तुम कोई डायलॉग लिख रहे हो, तुम अपने करेक्टर को बहुत लाउड शो करना चाहते हो, उसका बहुत इंटेंस इमोशन शो करना चाहते हो, तो फिर तुम एक्सक्लेमेशन मार्क लगाओगे। और समटाइम्स तुम इतना इंटेंस नहीं शो करना चाहते, तो यू वुड सिंपली राइट अ and just have a look at this sentence. The different part, the words in the sentence, the words are classified into different parts of speech. And that's all for today. Thank you.